What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a review for you. Let's get into it. All right, guys, I'm actually pretty excited to get into this review. We're going to do these as a pair. It's coming from a brand that I have not experienced before, so I am very interested in that. And these are going to be more affordable than some of your Jackwolf knives. So this is the RoseCraft gun stock, and this one here is the Trapper. So let's take a look at these two. All right, guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to do some size comparisons, weigh the knife, and then we'll jump into my thoughts and impression on these guys. Let's kick it off with a couple of affordable knives. Here it is against your Growler V2. I am using this one today because I feel like there's enough of these out in the wild now that most of you will be able to tell. This one's going to be more on the Para 3 lightweight side of things, Rat 2 side of things, and then we'll bring out the Civivi Amorite, which is going to be more comparable to like your Rat 2. As you can see, these are pretty much small knives, but they're pretty standard for your traditional pocket knives or modern traditional pocket knife sizes. Let's go ahead and do a couple of additional knives that you may be more familiar with, a little bit more readily available. We're going to do the Para 3 lightweight, again, Rat 2 size here, and also comparable to that Growler. And then we're going to bring out the Mannix 2 lightweight. Both of these have the applied weapon tech scales, and I just finished doing this one today, so since it was out, I'm just using that one. As you can see, pretty good size. They're both smaller than either one of the knives on the table. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to go ahead and do any type of profile comparisons. I really don't think it necessary. For modern traditionals, they're going to be pocket droppers or in the slip. Let's grab the scale, though. Let's check the weight on these. The bigger one, obviously, is going to be heavier. Hello? Wakey, wakey. There we go. All right, let's see. So the Trapper coming in at 3.6 ounces. Not awful. You definitely will feel that moving around a little bit in the pocket. And coming in at under 3 for the gun stock. So not bad. Both not terrible, but not super lightweight. Let's talk about the cutting performance on both. We're going to kick it down to the table and first do the gun stock. All right, we're down here with the gun stock. Let's just see how she slices. Yeah, it is a pass around, guys, so just keep that in mind. I normally don't like to do anything to affect the test, but sometimes I think, we get new folks all the time, guys, that join these pass around groups. And you just need to remind them, if they're going to do a little bit of cutting, strop it up, clean it up, etc., etc. And I just don't know where I was with this, and I don't know if it was the factory edge, but it felt like a small enough blemish to where it just wasn't getting the bite that it needed. Yeah, it feels like it could probably use a little bit more of a strop. And I might do that for the next person, but, I'm not going to do a big test here because it is a pass around and it's not my knife. So try not to hold, I guess is the point here, that against the knife. Let's just see. Yeah, good geometry. Moves to the cardboard really well. Feels like a toothy D2 steel. Oh, look at that. Is it my angle? Yeah, feels pretty good. Geometry wise, it is fighting a little bit there, so let me just really quick clean it. All right, so I just did like 6 or 7 each till it started to feel a little better on the strop. Yeah, it is starting to come back. So I don't know if it's pass around, if it's a factory edge. I don't know if it's this piece of paper. Yeah, it's starting to come back. So I'll do a few more strops, but I'm not going to keep you guys here for that. I don't this is my first experience with RoseCraft and their D2. I don't know if maybe like on occasion a factory edge doesn't come out perfect because maybe they ran it across the belt too much or anything like that. So I'm just going to kick it back up to the desk from here. I'm going to finish dropping it up off camera for that next reviewer, just so they can do a good test. And I would just recommend, follow this along the path of reviewers to see how it does for the next reviewer. And then just let me know in the comments below if you would have liked to just seen how it would have performed stropped. Because what I was trying to do here is just get a sense of like how did the edge come from the factory, and also the cutting geometry, and then what did it look like after just a little bit of moderate testing on some material just to see what it felt like. But it's starting already to feel really good across the strop. So I'll do that all off camera and then I'll cover that in the review. But the first one that I did, the Trapper, that one did better than this. So all right, so there's your gun stock cut footage. Pretty comfortable in hand, no hot spots thanks to no pocket clip. Very interesting ergos, guys. I think for most people you're going to be able to get your 2 fingers in the lower part of the gun stock, and then you have that meaty part of the knife there for the rest of the hand, so you're able to get a full purchase. This one here is a little small for me though. I do find that the room is very, very tight. What I find that I like, instead of just kind of letting it rest here, I do just move back a little bit, kind of land on the ramp and push off the back of the knife, and to me that's a little bit more comfortable overall. The fit and finish on this is really nice, and that covers for both of these guys. You got really nice G10 on here. It's polished to look very nice. You got the Ace of Spades, I don't know what that is. You got very beautiful polished finish, almost seamless backspacer there. You can barely see the lines and the difference in the textures there, and it is really constructed quite nicely. They use a stop pin instead of using the back spring for the stop on the close, so that does make it a little bit more affordable to construct. The pull on here for me, I have a hard time getting in there, so I do end up using that nail nick. There's just not enough with the polish for me to grab onto with just the fingers, so I do use that nail nick, and I think that's probably why that pull is a little bit lighter than what you're seeing on your Jack Wolf. I would call this about a 4.5 on the pull, so it does feel pronounced, but it's not too strong. And again, I think that is because you do need, for me, to dig into that nail nick to open it. Blade geometry on here, very thin, guys. This is going to be a laser beam, and I mainly think of this as very light duty cutting tasks, opening mail, packages, cutting loose string. I probably wouldn't even use this for much food prep. I don't think you're going to be able to cut much of the apple off. I think it's a little too short for that. Let's go ahead and kick it back down and take a look at the Trapper. All right, we got a real unique shape here on this one. The Trapper makes it feel like it points that tip way down. Nice D2 factory edge. This is a pass-around, so I'm just going to do a few cuts here, guys. Not too much with this one. Yeah, this feels... Ooh, I slipped right out of that. There we go. Oh, I'm getting hung up on the bend over here. So that's not the blade's fault. That is the 100% the cardboard. So let me just get rid of that. That felt really rough there. I'm going to do just a couple passes again. Very unique feel. I don't know if it's because I have such large hands, but it definitely feels a little odd in my hand, to be honest with you. But it's got a very nice slicey geometry. Let's see here. Yeah, something definitely didn't feel great on that pass, but maybe it was just tape. It feels fine now. All right, let's kick it back up to the desk and talk about it. And as you can see with the Trapper, I couldn't quite figure out what was going on with the edge. I am going to strop this before I send it to the next person, but everything that I mentioned on the gun stock applies here. It is a little bit easier to grab with just the thumb and let the meat catch that nail nick, but that 4.5 pull on here is going to make it fairly easy to open. Ergonomically, I prefer the gun stock to the trapper. I just don't like the way this feels in hand. I feel like it's a little too aggressive on that handle. I think if it would have been just a little bit more slight coming out as opposed to coming down so fast, it would feel a little bit more comfortable for me. But it just feels, for me, a little uncomfortable. I really just don't like this hand position, but I do understand it. Like, it does get that blade pointed down as you're cutting down in. It gives you power, pushes it into the back spring, and it'll pulls that material in as you're cutting through it. So I totally get the point of it and what it's meant for. This one here's got the skull instead of the crest. Again, I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Both of these are using D2 steel. Good thin slicey geometry. I like that they both have a swedge out on the tip, so that's going to reduce the drag as you're cutting through something that you want to finesse through, skinning, anything like that. This will do really well for you. The D2, just be careful with, because it's not corrosive resistant, so you do have to keep that in mind. I noticed that when these came in, I'm thinking that these came from Lefty. They were coated. So what I'll do is I'll just do a little light coat of oil before I ship them out to make sure that they don't have any, patina or anything on it going through. The G10 on here, you got some green G10 instead of the black, and I love the fact that they contoured both of these to make them look kind of like wood grain. So it's very, very pretty, and the construction on this, they're very well done. Very good quality on the build. Both are using stop pins, so that does help reduce the cost along with the materials that are used here, and they're quite good looking. If you're looking for an affordable slip joint to see if you're into slip joints, these are very nice. These would be something that you could carry that could be a little bit more classy at that price point, but they also could easily do your day-to-day task, be a work knife or a beater knife. Just very interesting construction. These are available at Traditional Pocket Knives. Code JDTPK will save you on any sort of exclusive that they are running with them. I don't know if it applies to the RoseCraft. I do apologize. I should have asked Austin before I did this. But punch the code in, use the link, punch the code in, and check it out. I actually am going to go see what other ones that they have, since I saw this in the past round, because I would be interested to check them out. Now, they're coming in at around the $50 price point, which you can get a QSP Hedgehog with 14C and micarta or G10 at around $60. So very competitive. I do like 14C 28N a little bit better. It is a tougher steel. It is corrosive resistant, and it'll take a screaming edge. On your D2, you want more of a toothy edge. For sawing, it gets a little slick when you try to get it to a fine, acute point. I love the ergos on the Hedgehog, but the Hedgehog has the limited Wharncliffe blade shape on it, versus with the RoseCrafts you can get a variety of handle and blade shapes. So that is a couple of options that you have there. This one is a Traditional Pocket Knives exclusive, and it's more premium. My discount code does apply to this because it is an exclusive, so you can get these for around $140 instead of $145. This has the M390, the titanium, and a variety of finishes for that handle, including the jigged titanium, which is very pretty. So if you don't mind the fact that this one sticks out like it does, I think that does turn a few people off. That is a great option, but for the money, bang for the buck, these are really, really, really good. D2 can be kind of finicky to work with. If you take your time, though, you can keep the edge that it has using a strop without using too much of a compound to make it slick. Keep it more toothy, and if you're sharpening it back up, just take your time and do a lot of research for videos out there. I don't want to really get into all of that. No spine whack test. They are slip joints, so not really built for that. And Traditional Pocket Knives does offer slips for these, but I don't know if they have any slip clips. You'll have to check for that one. All in all, pretty cool knife. I am definitely interested in checking out what else they offer. I think if the gun stock was about the size of the Trapper, I think I would really like that. Probably pick one up for a little bit beater sleep joint. beater slip joint to have in my collections. Let me know what you think about the RoseCraft line, and if you have one, do you have one of these, or do you have a different one that you would recommend checking out? That I'd be curious about. Leave that down in the comments. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of this video. It helps the algorithm. Shout out to everyone out there that likes, comments, subscribes. Make sure if you are subscribing to turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any alerts. And thank you for using the links. The links help the channel. Special thank you to the channel members out there. I appreciate that extra support that you provide by being a member of the channel. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.